It's Wednesday, February 1st, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Don't be fooled by Prime Minister Frundle Stewart again. The warning from Stewart's predecessor, Owen Arthur, in light of the Prime Minister's recent assurances that the island was not about to enter any formal program with the Washington-based International Monetary Fund, nor was the dollar on the brink of being devalued. Arthur says while he considers Stewart an honorable man and was prepared to take him at his word, Barbadians would do well to remember the promise made in the last general election campaign of no job losses. He says one only has to take a look at the foreign exchange reserves, which are plummeting, to get an idea of the critical condition of the country.
A large part of the government financial needs have been met recently by the printing of money by the Central Bank of Barbados. In the process, the foreign exchange reserves of the country have fallen from $1.5 billion to less than $700 million. If the process of printing continues, then Barbados will so deplete its foreign exchange reserves that it will be prostrate before not only the IMF but the rest of the world. The governor of the central bank has gone on record now as saying that he wants to put an end to the printing of money. And if that is the case, it is not a moment too soon, but it puts an onus on the Minister of Finance to tell the country what is the credible alternative he has in mind to the use of central bank printed resources to finance its operations.
Meantime, Arthur has also poured cold water on a suggestion made by Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Senator Jepter Ince, that the Barbados dollar has no real value.
I tremble for my country on the contemplation that a person who can give of such perfect ignorance, perfect and profound ignorance, is occupying a place at the center of government and in the Ministry of Finance. What he is trying to say that the dollar cannot be converted. So of course the dollar can't be converted easily. You can't go and convert Barbados dollars easily so into US currency. But it has a value. The value is 2 to 1. And it has been so from 1970 something. And it really means the salary being played to Mr. Jepter Ince is a cost overrun. I mean, it's a staggering ignorance that somebody does not know that the Barbados dollar is valued at 2 to 1 US. Really, Lord, man. And that you can better begin to understand why this country is in such great peril.
That was former Prime Minister Owen Arthur speaking to our Editor-in-Chief, Kmar Jordan. An increasing number of Barbadian Muslims are having their United States visas revoked. That's according to Secretary of the Barbados Muslim Association, Suleiman Bulbulia, who says there's also an upsurge in the number of applications being denied in recent weeks. And he anticipates even tougher times ahead for local Muslims looking to travel to the U.S. following President Donald Trump's controversial travel ban.
We believe that with what's happening now, that situation will get even worse, and it will perhaps drive more people not to want to travel there. We are concerned of the incidences of backlash from a lot of the rhetoric that is being spoken. We know of a situation in Quebec, Canada last night, where persons came into a mosque and gunned down several people there. There was a mosque that was burnt in Texas a few days ago. We have had harassment of Muslim women, especially who are visible because they wear the headscarf. There was an incident a few days ago in New York at the airport there. But we are also heartened by the overwhelming and outpouring of support that are coming from ordinary Americans against the Trump administration and against these policies, and are coming out in support of Muslims and Muslim refugees and persons from the Muslim world.
The level of gun crime in the country continues to cause major headaches to members of the Royal Barbados Police Force. So says Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite, who told a Democratic Labour Party meeting over the weekend that the number of new firearms in the country is one of the RBPF's biggest challenges at this time.
we have some challenges. And our biggest challenge continues to be the level of gun crime and the number of new firearms that we are seeing in this country. And we need to come to grips with how do we eliminate or how do we stop these illegal firearms from coming to the country. That remains a challenge. And that remains a challenge partly because of the fact that we're an island and you have various ways of getting to the country. So the guns can be coming through our ports, can be coming through the airports and the seaports. But you have all the different borders that guys can come into Barbados illegally. So it is a challenge. It is a very big challenge that we have to address. And we acknowledge that.
A St. John man succumbs to his injuries sustained in a road accident that occurred 1 week ago. 37-year-old Adrian Goddard of College Savannah died at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital yesterday afternoon following an accident on January 24th at Woodbourne Road, St. Philip. Goddard's motorcar was involved in a collision with another vehicle driven by 29-year-old Ron Brathwaite of Shanox Christchurch just around midnight last Tuesday. Both men who sustained head injuries were rushed to the hospital by ambulance for treatment. Police investigations into the accident are ongoing and they are appealing to anyone who witnessed the collision to contact the District C Police Station at 416-8200 or Police Emergency 211. In sports, reigning champions Trinidad and Tobago crushed West Indies under-19s by 8 wickets in quick time yesterday. They moved into second spot in Group A of the Regional Super50 tournament following this second win. Wounded by a defeat to Kent Spitfires last Sunday, Red forced out the under-19s for a meager 58 of 31 overs and then galloped to their target of 10.2 overs at the Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium. They now lie second on 9 points, 3 behind leaders Leeward Islands Hurricanes, who they meet in the next game at Coolridge Cricket Ground on Thursday. West Indies under-19s are at the bottom of the standings without a win in 3 outings.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
God, these papers ain't selling at all. Get your paper. Only $2.25, get your paper. Get your paper, miss. Look, take it, I can pay for it. Barbados today, all the way.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To pick up with news from the region, a campaign promise made by the Alan Shastney-led United Workers' Party goes into effect today. St. Lucians will now pay 12% in the value-added tax, down from 15%. We get more in this report from HTS News Force.
Prime Minister Alan Shastney says the reduction in the value-added tax rate from 15 to 12.5% is not only in keeping with an election campaign promise, but is part of the administration's overall economic recovery strategy. He argues that a competitive tax system is crucial to attract foreign investment, thus the drive for more marginal tax rates.
The government trying to resolve its financial situations by raising taxes will basically curtail any economic growth. In fact, we've seen that. So 3 of the last 4 years, we've had negative growth. It is my party's belief that in order to be able to grow this economy, we have to get investment, both investment that is homegrown and also foreign direct investment. And in order to convince people to be able to invest in this country, we have to lower the level of taxes. We have to become more competitive.
And finally, the European Union has declared the Trump administration a threat. European Council President Donald Tusk, in a letter to 27 European leaders, warned that worrying declarations from U.S. President Donald Trump are among the challenges faced by the EU. We get more in this report from the CNN.
It's really startling to hear from an EU leader talk about a U.S. president's administration in this way, especially when you consider the close intertwined relationship that's existed for the past some 70 years between Europe and the United States, something that Donald Tusk touched upon in this letter, saying, quote, "For the first time in our history, in an increasingly multipolar external world, so many are becoming openly anti-European or Eurosceptic at best. Particularly the change in Washington puts the European Union in a difficult situation, with the new administration seeming to put into question the last 70 years of American foreign policy."
And on that note, we come to the end of our news and sports update. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also nice to media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning.